I don't even know where you sitting at. Like.
Matt, they did it. The Toronto Raptors have dethroned the champs. The Kings are dead. Kawhi Leonard has done it. Two-time NBA champion. The Toronto Raptors are NBA champions. Kyle Lowry, Jeremy Lin, Pascal Siakam, Marc Gasol, OG Abunier, Fred VanVleet, Jody Meeks. Who else am I forgetting?
Did you say Powell? Nick Powell?
Oh, Norman Powell.
Norman, not Nick. Norman.
Patrick McCall is now a three-peat NBA champion. Delon Wright, NBA champions. Kyle Lowry, NBA champion. The King of Canada. He might be the Prime Minister tomorrow. It's probably going to be Kawhi.
Who's their? Who's their Prime Minister? It's going to annoy me.
I have no idea who their Prime Minister is.
Or not Prime, whatever that main guy is. Trudeau.
Is that not the Prime Minister? I feel like the Prime Minister is their biggest position.
I guess it is. I don't know. I'm not involved in Canadian politics.
The craziest thing in their celebration, well, there's multiple crazy things that I noticed in their celebration. It seemed like Kawhi was trying to cry. It seemed like Doris Burke. I kept saying Boris. Doris Burke was tearing up like the whole time, like giving interviews.
Did you see? It was it Game 4 that they won in Golden State? Game 4, like the interview, his voice was shaking the whole time. I think whatever language program they have him running now is just like it's not running completely. Like
Kawhi.
There's a delay.
Kawhi's?
Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to get a software update. Is that what you're saying?
I mean it's a little shaky. I think so.
Yeah, I thought it was weird seeing Doris tearing up. It was like she was real emotional. She got real emotional when she talked to Marc Gasol.
Was she tearing up? I think she might have just been nervous.
I don't think she's nervous. She's done this for so long.
That's true. She has done this for a while.
The other weird thing was I guess the Raptors owner who came out and he said congratulations to the 36 or 37 million Canadians, and that made me just do a double take. I'm like, wait, there's only that many Canadians? And I looked it up. There's more people that live in California that live in Canada. Huge stat. That one blew my mind. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, how are they this good when their talent pool is so much smaller because they can only play Canadians?
I know. Anyway, let's get into the game. Let's do it. Let's talk Game 6 NBA Finals. Matt, start us up.
So Game 6 and a recap. This was such a weird thing because this was like the game the Raptors needed, and they barely squeaked by. And I think it was down to sloppy. It was down to a couple things. One, it was a little bit sloppy play. Two, they became so predictable in the third and fourth quarter that I thought the second half that the Raptors would take off because the Warriors are really relying on 6-7 players. I mean, really, truly, they're relying on 6 players. But besides that, the Raptors, they kept doing this thing where they'd run a high screen with either Serge or Mark. Then they would draw the double team, bounce pass it back to Serge or Mark in the middle of the lane, and they would either take it in or pass it out. But the thing was, Marc Gasol was not being aggressive at all this game. He was being way too passive. He was the tallest guy out there, and he's the tallest guy out there. He could get to the block every single time, and he's skilled enough where he's able to finish over both shoulders. I don't know how he's not scoring 20, but he was passing the ball. He didn't get a field goal to go down until the fourth, I think. And it just grinded their offense to a halt because you saw it. There's that one play where Steph just stunned at Marc Gasol. And it's Steph Curry, and Mark picked his dribble up and went to look for the pass. And it was like, what are you doing? It's a point guard on you. Take him to the rack. But regardless, this was a game that the Warriors lost. The Warriors tried their hardest. They tried their hardest to win this game. And I have to admit, the effort. I mean, I don't know if I've seen so much heart from a team that just comes up short.
Well, let's talk about, I guess, the biggest storyline of the game. Klay going down in the third quarter. Klay was on fire. He was lighting up the third quarter. He was hitting every shot. He was hitting every single shot. He had, I believe, 10, 12 points in the third quarter before he goes up for the dunk where he's fouled and he comes down hard on that knee, I guess is what we're going to call it, the knee injury.
I mean, it's an ACL.
I don't know I don't know how bad it is, but he was in the locker room. He said there was nothing that popped. He was jumping up and down, so I thought he was coming back. We saw him come out for the free throws. I thought he was going to... And then he's going back to the locker... They're trying to get him back to the locker room. He's saying, no. I don't want to go out. He's, like, basically telling him no, and they're, like, forcing him back there. And he, like, sprints back there, so because he wants to get back out there. He's like, the quicker I can get back there, the faster I can get out. And then, I guess it was really bad because the doctors just won't let him play. Maybe it's something to do with the Kevin Durant thing, where they're just really worried that he's going to aggravate it even more. But he really wanted to play. He wanted to be out there. He was going to keep himself in on the after the free throws. He was going to play defense. Yeah.
So the thing about it is, with those knee injuries, running in a straight line, you're okay at. You're not bad at. You can't cut or explode off of that leg at all. You can't do any sudden movements. So I don't like him jumping or him playing defense. Just even getting in that stance would have been, agony. And he wouldn't have been quick off the jump. They would have exploited him. So, I mean, it was one of those things where it sucks. And let me tell you these numbers for Klay. He was 8 for 12, 4 for 6 from 3. That was today. 9 for 21, not great, but 7 for 13 from 3. 11 for 18, 6 for 10 for 3, 10 for 17, 4 for 6 from 3, 8 for 17, 3 from 6 from 3. Those are the 5 games he played. He was injured in one of those. He ended up shooting 54% from the field and 59% from 3, all while taking on the enormous task of defending Kawhi Leonard and Pascal Siakam, which he did pretty well. I mean, this was just an enormous finals from him. I thought if the Warriors won tonight, I think if Klay Thompson doesn't get hurt, the Warriors win tonight. I think the Warriors have momentum. I think they win out, and if they won, Klay Thompson should have been the finals MVP. I know Steph had that one insane game, but Klay Thompson should have been the finals MVP.
If they do force Game 6, and I do agree with you, if Klay doesn't get hurt, they go on to win Game 6. Because going into that injury, the Warriors they had the momentum. They were running a great Warriors third quarter. It was everything you wanted in the Warriors third quarter. It was like those fabled third quarters they're known for. Kawhi had his 4th foul. Kyle Lowry drew his 4th foul. It was everything was looking up for Golden State, and then the injury happens, and the whole game just turned around. I mean, Kyle Lowry had the amazing first half. He had dropped like 20-something points. Kawhi Leonard, he only dropped like 25 points. And then Siakam stepped up in the second half, and then you saw Fred VanVleet hitting shots.
First too. The big thing about him is he had a couple real nice passes, which I haven't seen. The other thing is, the Warriors kind of figured it out. Siakam literally does not have a left hand. He can't use it. He's going to have to work on that if he wants to make the next step. You saw Draymond Green when he was guarding him was giving him the left. Every single time Draymond guarded him on that post, Siakam could have turned around with his left and had it right at the hoop. I mean, it would have been basically a free layup, but he wouldn't do it. He was just so stubborn. And regardless of that, he's so long and so athletic that he finds space wherever he is, and it's pretty incredible.
Yeah. I mean, the Raptors together, I feel like they all had a good game, except for Lowry, who had a tremendous game. And then you just look at the Warriors. After the Klay injury, they kind of just ran out of offensive weapons. Iggy had a great game. He had 22 points on 9 for 15 shooting, 3 for 6 from 3. But after that, Boogie didn't look very good. He was struggling most of the night. He kind of looked. Yeah. Well, I don't know. He hasn't looked very great since his return.
So that's the thing. He's he's just not in shape. Isn't it so clear? Because he comes in and he's a spark plug off the bench, and he does great for 10 minutes. And then you just see him lose that gas. That's the thing. He's out of shape.
I think
he did have that incredible rebound where he got the defensive foul on Serge, and he was playing all right. It was just clearly he was gassed.
I think
he can't keep up with.
I think it's a little bit of the gas, and I think it's just him not being. Just hasn't had enough minutes. He doesn't have the play time. He hasn't gotten adjusted to it yet, and he doesn't really understand his role. But yeah, I mean, they just don't have the firepower. Quinn Cook looked terrible. He was getting, no pun intended, he was getting cooked on defense. I'm trying to remember who Fred VanVleet. I think it was Quinn Cook who Fred VanVleet just exploited. There was other big guys who Fred VanVleet just beat on the
Fred
three.
VanVleet, for a couple times, he took it right at Quinn Cook and right at Boogie.
Yeah,
I mean, a couple of possessions in a row where he's just like, look, I'm quicker than them.
And then the Steph fourth quarter wasn't there. Steph he couldn't score in the fourth. Maybe he's a little gassed. He's a little banged up, but he didn't have anything going. I mean, he doesn't have anyone around him. They're throwing doubles at him.
Running through screens.
Yeah, they're throwing doubles at him. They're not letting him get open. It's hard, and they ran out of gas. It kind of feels like it's the end of the Warriors. It really does feel like this game and the way this series went. Last game in Oracle, the Durant injury. We already heard the rumors that Durant's gone anyway. Klay, they're talking Klay. What's going to happen with Klay? Draymond, are they going to match Draymond? What are they going to do with him? And now we don't even know the extent of Klay's injury. I mean, it just seems like it's over for the Warriors. I don't think this team's going to be. I don't think KD's going to be back. I don't know if they're going to keep the three together. It seems like the dynasty's over to me.
So, for me, one, KD's gone. I don't think it matters. I mean, he's such a great player and but we saw them. I think if KD's not there and Klay's healthy the whole time, I think the Warriors win this series. Mm-hmm. So we know what they can do. One, the thing that could hurt them the most is if KD opts into this player option. Have you seen the 100%. Reports? He's not playing for the 2019-2020 season.
I haven't heard the report yet, but I still think there's time for that to change.
I guess so, but right now they've ruled him out for the entire season, for the entire next season. So I could see him saying, well, I got 32 sitting right here. I don't think he will because I think he can still make $40 million a year. The Knicks will pay him even for 1 year without him, and maybe they'll just try to tank for the first pick again and come back with assets or whatever. But the finals have proved you got to max Klay. So you're going to have Steph and you're going to have Klay. And I feel like you got to give the money to Draymond. The interesting thing will be what they use without it. I think they get rid of DeMarcus because he goes somewhere else. Sean Livingston, if they can get him for vet men, cool. Other than that, he doesn't add enough. They need to get some shooters. But I think if they keep Steph, Klay, Andre Iguodala, and Draymond, and they don't have injury problems, I think they're just as good of a team, and I think they're the favorites to make it to the finals next season.
Let's if Klay is hurt, if the extent's as bad as people think, I don't know how bad it is, I have no idea, but that could be a real issue. And then if KD takes the player option, they're not going to be able to get the talent. They're not going to be able to do it. And then Iggy's only going to get older.
They would have no room to move.
Iggy's only going to get older, and then I don't know what's Steph's deal. What's his contract right now?
I mean, he's got that supermax.
He's on the supermax. Yeah, I mean, Draymond, you're going to have to find a way to get Draymond back. It's just, I don't know. There's a lot of questions right now, and I don't feel very certain that this Warriors team's going to be all back next year. I kind of feel like Klay's kind of leaning out. I think they're all ready to move on and take their next step separately.
Klay will stay. I think if anyone, Klay stays.
I know the Warriors, that's their top guy. That's their top guy right now in free agency, is to get Klay. But I don't know. I don't see this team sticking around. I can't.
So
I feel like they want to do. I feel like those three want to be together, but I think it's. I don't know. Just time separates people, and I just feel like this is their time, and it's finally ending.
So this is because their contract situation is not great.
I can't imagine it being.
But so next year, the only people they have